Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Shay Love Supreme here, back with another video. Yes. So in my last video, I basically talked about what astrology actually is and then also what a birth chart is. So if you guys didn't see that last video, please tune in. But I will give you guys a brief summary just in case, you ain't got time, you want to watch this one because it's a new one, okay? So basically, astrology is the study of our universe, the planets, aspects, and different things going on in the universe that actually affects us as human beings, okay? So it's basically a relationship between us as humans and then also, the universe itself, which is the planets, the stars, and everything else that is out there, because it's not just us on this earth. There's so many other beings, there's so many other energies that are going on. Now, the birth chart itself is something that can be seen within astrology. Now, this is a tool that is used to basically see the relationship between yourself and the universe, right? And an example of this would be this. Okay, so this is an example of a birth chart wheel and what it actually looks like. Now, if I were to be doing someone's actual birth chart, there would actually be lines that you would see that would be depicted as what they call aspects. Okay, now they have easy aspects, they have harder aspects, and these are just basically lines that depict the relationship between you and other people or certain events that have happened and occurred within your life. Now, before I go ahead and put this back, these you see here are called symbols. They're glyphs, right? And these glyphs here actually interpret and show the different planets. Now, the planets on the outer wheel here show the zodiac signs. Now, depending on you as an individual, every individual has a different type of birth chart. Okay, that's what makes us so special as human beings. Even twins, right? Twins can be born out of the same womb, but still, depending on the birth time that they were born, it makes a huge difference. It really does. That's why it's so important if you're a person who has gotten a natal birth chart reading before and the astrologist asks for your exact time of birth, right? That time of birth is really significant because it really gives the more accuracy to the reading that you are getting. Now, since we're talking about astrologers, I am an astrologer and I give natal birth chart readings on my website. That is www.blossomcentral.com, okay? So if you guys are interested in getting a natal birth chart reading from me, definitely do so. It's something that is life-changing. It is something that is very beneficial for the said individual within their journey and within their path, right? If you're on a journey of self-discovery, self-love, and really understanding yourself on deeper levels and aspects, definitely book a reading and a session with me. I'm a person who believes in and trusts in, and I go by the rhetoric of encouragement, empowerment, and also guidance as well. We will go through each and every aspect and nothing will go left unsaid, okay? Now, going forth within this video, we are going to be talking about the first house within astrology and the importance of it. Now, this first house is called the house of self, okay? The first house itself is ruled naturally by the zodiac sign of Aries. All right. And then also, Aries itself is seen as the baby of the zodiac. Well, why? Well, because it is represented. I was going to say represented. That ain't even a word. It is represented by the number 1, which equals the beginning and the spark of creation into this reality, okay? Aries is ruled by Mars, and with the energy of Mars itself, this shows the passion and the sexual drive of creation that was needed in order to bring each and every one of us into this reality we call the earthly plane. Now, within the first house, this is a person's first impression of you before getting to know you and who you truly are and your other aspects of yourself inside. Now, within the first house, this shows the said person's actual physical makeup, as far as your body goes, right? How your physical body actually looks. And then also how your facial features look. Okay? And then also, this can show what body parts you're more prone to be affected by. So, for instance, if you're a person who is a let's say Aries rising, since we're already on it, right? You're an Aries rising, meaning that Aries is in your first house in astrology in your birth chart. This means that you're a person who is more prone to getting headaches and different things like that, because Aries represents the head within astrology, right? So you're more prone to getting headaches or migraines. So it's very important that you are making sure that you're hydrated and that you're getting enough rest and enough sleep within your life, and that your life is, stress-free as possible, okay? It's very important for an Aries rising to get peace of mind, because a lot of things could be going on in your mind, right, depending on whatever's going on in your life, and that can affect your head. Your head starts to hurt, you get migraines, and you're stressed out, right? So you need time to decompress. You need times of solitude and just to be with yourself and really to tap into yourself. Yes. Now, going back to the first house, right? This is basically also very important to know, because within the first house of self, in your journey of self-discovery, it's so important to know thyself, to know who you are on the inside and the outside, and also the image that you project to other people and that you portray to other people. Yes, because people may see you one way, but you may be another way, upon first impression. Yes, and then also within the journey of self, it's just so important to really tap into the first house, because on the opposite spectrum of the first house of self is the spectrum of the seventh house, right? And the seventh house itself represents your relationships with others, right? So really and truly, the relationship with yourself is the most important. And then everything else can go forth afterwards. You have to value the relationship with yourself and know who you are in order to get into a relationship with someone else, or in order to better your relationships and situations with other people within self-awareness. Now, going further into this, if you're a person who really, wants to work on bettering the relationship with yourself first, it's so important, because depending on that sign that rules the first house, it really depicts the relationship that you have with yourself already, whether you are aware of what it is truly or not. So for instance, if someone is a Virgo rising, right, they are a Virgo first house person. They are a person who is seen as being very healing, right? They have a very healing aura about themselves, right? Because the sign of Virgo is the healer, right? It's also the virgin, right? So it's very healing and pure energy. But on the flip side of that, with having Virgo in the first house of self, you can be a person who's very prone to being very self-critical of yourself within the relationship with yourself. You could be a little bit harsh or hard on yourself when it comes to certain things, especially within your self-image and how you carry and how you portray yourself, right? You could be very... you can have a very perfectionist approach when it comes to yourself and your image. So it's just very important to be mindful and vigilant of that, because, when in a relationship with yourself, you want to make sure that you are being as gentle with yourself as possible, that you're giving yourself room to grow and to know that not everything is a mistake. It was supposed to happen that way. Certain things like that. Now, moving forward, yes, this is all about the relationship with yourself, but it's also how you project yourself out into the world as well, So also the first house itself is seen as the ascendant sign. So this is the energy that you are ascending into. This is the energy that you are embodying here in this reality. Now keep in mind too, you know, there are different types of birth charts in general, right? So depending on whatever birth chart that you decide to look at will depict the energies that persist. So for instance, I'm a person who is an astrologist, like I said before, right? And I like to basically go forth and start people out who've never had an experience of having a birth chart, or who are very new in general to astrology. I like to start them off with the westernized version of astrology, which is known as the tropical birth chart. Okay? And I also like to use the whole sign house system as well, because it gives the client and myself a more accurate depiction and a more accurate knowledge base to go from when I'm looking at your birth chart. It's just very important within your journey of self to have the most accurate information for you, and also to make it as simple as possible so that you'll be able to grasp it, you know. But I like to start off with the tropical birth chart in general, because what it does is it is more ego-based, which is more personality-based, right? It's more psychologically based itself. And you want to know yourself on a psychological standpoint of, okay, why do I do the things that I do? Why do I operate in the way that I operate? You know, and from it being an ego, the ego is actually formed. It is something that is used as a defense mechanism itself, right? And the ego can be seen interchangeably as the personality that we use in order to make ourselves see or be, really. I guess see and be. Make ourselves be a certain way that we have to show up in the world in order to get certain things done. Yes. Now, if you want to go deeper into it, say if you're a person who already received a natal birth chart that is tropical, right? There's also a Vedic astrology natal birth chart, which will show basically your actual ways that you show up physically in the world, you know, personality, and then how you truly are, you know, how people perceive you, but then it's like, boom, how you truly are, right? So this is also taking into account the earth actually being on a tilt, so it's a little bit more accurate with the actual planets and different transits being in their actual real placements itself, right, in real time. That's something that's really good for usage when you are actually looking at transits that are happening, you know, on the earth. You know, whenever they say, you know, the moon is in Aries, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. You can actually go to your birth chart using the sidereal chart, right, and see where the moon is actually transiting wherever Aries is within your chart, and seeing what areas of life is it influencing. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now, another birth chart that I also represent, another birth chart that I also provide to you all is a draconic chart. Now, that is really one of my favorite charts to do, because it actually depicts the soul itself, right? This is the soul before it was molded into any other social conditioning. This is the soul's blueprint and the soul's mission before it came here on earth, and before, you know, it got here and it was like, well, dang, I gotta change up the scenery, I gotta change things up a little bit so that I can, you know, thrive and survive. And that's where, when you go back to the ego, that's where the ego is formed. But yes, draconic astrology is so good. It's a soul-based astrology. What does your soul truly want in your purpose, you know? And really and truly, all of these birth charts are very important, because this shows different aspects and different angles of yourself. And it's just energy itself. So don't be alarmed when you see all of these signs and symbols and stuff, because me as an astrologer, I will help you to better understand and depict what actually is going on and happening within your life and what's happening in your journey. You know, it's all there. It's all there. So really and truly, it's very important when you are choosing someone to read your birth chart to just make sure that they're a person that you trust. Make sure that you know that you are receiving great information and that you're in good hands. So without further ado, I will go ahead and say again, my website is blossomcentral.com. That is www.blossomcentral.com. If you guys want to book a reading or a session with me, definitely do so. You will not be disappointed at all. We will go through the nitty gritty because I love to be detail oriented. And also, I'll just leave all of the information in the description box below, my website and everything. And I also just really appreciate you all tuning in and tapping in with me in every video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and just let everybody else know. If you know somebody who needs a natal birth chart done, right? You know somebody who is looking for their life path, their life journey, or where their life is heading, right? What is their soul mission and their soul purpose? Please let them know. Or if that's you, come on to the Blossom Central crew. Yes. But yes, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.